Thank you everyone. So today I'm here to talk about how old is your fish. And what I thought I'd start off with was a very short video on the monitoring process that we use at the moment.
We're interested in collecting biological information from the fish that people catch, both recreational and commercial fishes. So when we bring fish samples back into the laboratory, we're interested in collecting length information, we collect sex information, and we also look at the otoliths or the ear bones that are held in the fish's head. So we're looking at the annual growth bands on the otoliths, similar to growth rings on a tree, and this allows us to determine how old each fish is. So we look at this data across many years because we're looking for trends through time in the changes in the abundance of certain age groups in a stock. Some of those trends can be influenced by environmental parameters. Also, you might find that if fishing pressure has increased, you will see a change in the prevalence of certain age groups. It's a really cool way of being able to routinely look at the health of the stock and the sustainability of the fishery.
So here you've just seen Lenore give us a bit of an overview of our current fish ageing program. That's part of our fisheries monitoring. So basically we're collecting biological information by actually going through and getting samples from wholesalers, retailers, the recreational fishing community to actually come and take these samples, like slice them under the microscope, and then actually can determine the age of a fish from the otolith. So this process takes us time. I mean, we monitor 18 species throughout the state, and it's quite a significant amount of work to actually undertake this work by the time we actually prepare the slides, examine them under the microscope, and then record those. Currently, there's actually an extensive training program too that our staff have to undertake to be able to be competent in actually aging fish, so that we also get consistency throughout time and that we know that the information being collected is accurate. So what are we after you to solve here? Basically, we're looking for you to come up with an innovative way to automate our fish aging. So what we believe makes that possible is we have decades worth of fish otolith images that have already been aged. So we already have a data set there ready to be utilised. And we believe that that will lend itself to an innovative solution. So the idea out of this is that we should be able to then free up resources to put them into other fisheries monitoring programs. We can expand the number of species that we're performing this for. And also at the moment, because it's very labour intensive, we only normally do this once a year, whereas it might be something that we can actually age these species as we go on throughout the year and collect the samples. That way we've actually got data sooner to actually make our decisions on. So that's my problem that I've presented here today, so I'll open the floor up to Q&A.
Thanks, David. Questions from the floor?
Nothing about prepping the samples, it's just the images you want to analyse?
Yes, so there's nothing about prepping the samples, so it's just about the images themselves.
How big is the data set that you've got the images?
I believe it's over 18 species and it goes back, what, 20?
There some species go to 1999, so we have 20 years of data, around about 500 otoliths per species times 20 years. Pretty significant.
So there'll be 26 people streaming, so have you got any Twitter questions come through at all, team? Any other questions from the audience?
Yeah, can I just ask, at the moment, are all those samples actually coming to one laboratory in Brisbane, or are they being done?
So our monitoring program is split into the north and the south. So some of them are done in the north, some are done in the south, but they tend to be different kind of species that we collect across the state.
And if there was a way that you could crowdsource actually what do you call
The otolith?
otoliths, under a microscope, if somebody could send in those images with those under a reasonably inexpensive photo microscope, would that?
I guess we haven't really looked at that side of the problem. I mean, for us, what we're doing is we're already getting these samples, so we're, as well as obviously getting like otoliths, we obviously do age, we do sexing of some fish and also the length of them as well. So generally there's samples that we've collected ourselves or have been sent in to us. So, and there is prep that some of the species can be read with the otolith whole and others have to be sliced and actually set on a slide. So there is work in some of those to actually be able to, it's not necessarily a real simple task to do some of that.
Cool, thank you.
questions? No? Oh, one up the back.
The data at the moment, how do you have it stored? Is it paper-based? Do you have it, the data at the moment?
How is it currently stored?
Yeah, so at the moment we actually have an application called the fish aging system. So it performs two things for us. It actually stores digitally the actual age data for each sample, but it's also a tool that we use to train and certify the competency of our users as well as part of it. So there is actually an electronic system there that underpins that. So.
Do you know if there's a methodology to connect onto that current data system?
So currently it's a SQL Server backend with a ASP.NET application, but we could look at making some interface or available. So.
So I want to ask folk if you could just wait for the microphone, because we do have people streaming, so they won't pick up the questions. So if you just put your hand up, you've got a question, we'll get the mic to you.
Thanks. Do you guys have any way that you... is it time consuming in trying to extract the data once it's in the database?
That's a fairly simple thing. So we actually take all our age data and collate it with all our other data sets around biological monitoring. So as well as our whole fisheries monitoring program, we have a single system that handles all that. So that's not necessarily a huge part of the job to get it out of there and be used for interpretation. Because the other thing too is we have a whole stack of other stock assessments and methodologies that they run over the data sets. So,
Thank you.
How much time do you spend on this at the moment? How many people hours, or how big's the problem?
Yeah, so at the moment we age about 5,000 otoliths a year, and basically we'd be spending a couple of weeks per species going through and doing the aging for these.
Okay, any final questions? Okay, I'm getting the wind up, so thank you. Thanks, David.
Thanks.
Okay.